Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans, and we are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. The Cubs come back in a huge way. Not in the game. I'm talking about bouncing back from yesterday's emotional loss. The offense explodes onto the scene. Looks like Matt Shaw has potentially figured out his swinging issue, and we'll preview the series finale all right here on Cubs Daily. But before we get into all that, just a big shout out to everyone who has liked the videos, subscribed to the channel, and continues to comment, giving me their thoughts. I am very excited to continue speaking with you guys, growing this community day by day. It has been an absolute pleasure and an honor. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. The Cubs demolish the Marlins 14-1 in a very, very impressive win. Now, this game was kind of close in the beginning, right? It was 1-1 entering the 6th inning. Then that happened. It was an 8-run 6th inning, putting the game well out of reach. We tacked on 5 more in the 9th, and that is your final. 21 hits for this Cubs team. It looks like everyone in the lineup had a hit. Everyone contributed in a big way. Swanson with 2. Crow Armstrong had 2. Suzuki and Tucker had 3 hits. Ian Happ in his debut back wasn't completely sharp, but hey, 1 for 6. He is just a stabilizing force, right? When Ian Happ bats leadoff, it just knocks on down the line and makes everyone down the line even better. Even though Pete Crow Armstrong was a fantastic fill-in, he did a fantastic job, and honestly, I think he should be starting there in the future. Ian Happ is the veteran presence of this Cubs team. He always sets the tone with a high-quality at-bat. Yes, even if he gets out or strikes out, he generally takes a lot of pitches. He makes that first inning pitcher sweat a little bit more and more every time, and that is just a domino effect on down the lineup, and that's how it goes. Kyle Tucker got the party started with a home run in the first inning. Tyone gave up the tire in the 3rd, but then it was just an explosion. They loaded the bases with no one out. A little bloop single by Dansby Swanson unflooded the gates, and the Cubs come away with a very, very high-quality victory. Excellent win, no doubt about it. Let's hop on into this one. The Cubs offense does not need the bullpen in this one, right? That's one way, right, to cure our bullpen woes. How about we just score 14 runs a game? It sounds so simple and easy, right? But, again, they scored 7 runs yesterday. That 7 runs in a Major League Baseball game should be enough to win 85 to 90% of your baseball games. It's not going to happen every time. These are all professional clubs, right? But the Cubs offense is clicking now. It's being figured out. And yes, adding Ian Happ back has been an absolutely tremendous, tremendous help. Now, Mr. Ballesteros, who did have a short stint, Jed Hoyer on 670 to score, did let everyone know that, hey, I told Moises when he came up it would be a short stint, but the Cubs believe he's going to have a big future in the big leagues. I'm not sure if he's going to be a part of the Cubs' plans. As you know, he's an excellent trade piece potentially to get that big-time player this team might need. Paul Skeens. Sorry. I know. That's just a tease, right? I don't think the Cubs are going to get him, but again, that's a different discussion for a different video. So, the offense was absolutely rolling. Every single person in the lineup got a hit, and absolutely awesome to see, right? Horner drove in 2. Suzuki drove in 4. Bush, pinch hitting, drove in a couple. It was an absolute demolishing, and hopefully the Cubs can can continue that today in the series finale. We'll preview that here in a matter of moments. Tyone, very solid once again, going 7 innings, only allowing 1 earned run. Again, he walked a couple, but it's May. He's working out the kinks. I believe it was the second half of last year that Tyone absolutely came in and just shut the door on a lot of different games for this Cubs team in terms of starting. So hopefully he can continue that second half success in 2025. Now, let's talk about the young one, right? The young man that the Cubs called up, Mr. Matt Shaw. Now, let me see here. Hold on. Matt Shaw did come up here for the Cubs, and he did have 2 hits during the game, right? He's been absolutely contributing on all fronts for this Cubs team, which is what you love to see for this team. There we go. Matt Shaw has 4 hits in his first 2 games back, which is what you get. Remember, I think it was his leg kick they were talking about. They didn't really, it needed to get a little bit faster or a little bit shorter. Either way, it's working. He's figuring it out. Yes, he's only hitting quote-unquote 209, but since he's been back, He's hitting close to 400, which again, it's only 2 games. You don't want to overreact, and it's the Marlins, but it's exciting to see that, you know, the Cubs set him down. They saw an adjustment, and they're like, hey, we need to figure this out. You know, we need to figure this out so that we can, you know, help this young man continue to develop, and hopefully he can become our starting, you know, we really need him to be our starting third baseman, because that's one of the areas that the Cubs do have an issue with in this situation. And again, this would be 2-for-2 situations that the Cubs pull this off, right? Where the Cubs have a guy, they're like, you know, I'm not 100% sure if you know, we need to trade for this need, et cetera, but either way, if the Cubs can get that done with Matt Shaw and Pete Crow Armstrong, it's a job well done. And then they can focus entirely trading on the bullpen, which, again, the Cubs absolutely need bullpen help. Because, you know, you can't sit there and live life on the edge like they have been the past few weeks. So, the Cubs are going for the series win today. It's going to be at 12:10 Central Time. Cade Horton back on the bump. I'm very curious to see. Again, the ERA is high. He's given up 3 runs in each of his 2 starts. Generally, though, they're kind of a couple swings of the bat. Nothing, like, overwhelmingly concerning. Again, he's a young player in the major leagues. It's not that easy for him. But I do expect him to hopefully have a nice bounce-back game today and maybe give the Cubs team a good chance to win. Again, 12:10 Central Time, going for the series win in Miami. No reason the Cubs can't come out and get a series victory and continue their success on down this road. Now, then we'll have a day off, and we're going to be going to the south side of Chicago, which is going to be another test in and of itself. I know, the White Sox, they're not a test. But again, these games are a sort of test, right? Like, they're not better than us. The teams are not better than us. They are lesser than us. Do we get complacent, right? The Cubs reacted really well from the emotional loss on Monday. I want to see them keep their foot on the pedal. You know, you don't have to blow out the Marlins, but go drop 6 runs, only allow 1 run, 6-1 victory today. Get up out of there, get a day off, and then get ready for a battle on the south side. So, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this team right now. Let me know in the comment section, how are they looking? Is the bullpen the number 1 priority? If so, I 100% agree. I'm not sure who's available on the market for them to go out and get, but I do have a slight, you know, potential solution. And it doesn't solve the closer position necessarily, but when Shota Imanaga comes back, maybe that's where we move Ben Brown to the bullpen, and he can kind of be more of a long relief option for us and, you know, help supplement the starters if totally need be. Because that's kind of the one thing they're missing as well, besides a closer, besides, you know, just being shaky from top to bottom. The Cubs don't have a guy, like, if the starter can only go 2 or 3 innings, we need someone who can eat up 3 more innings for us. So maybe Ben Brown would be the perfect solution for that. We're still waiting for Javier Assad to get back, et cetera, but hopefully we can get that win today. Then we can get rested tomorrow and get ready for another event on the south side. So that's going to do it for Cubs Daily today. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.